Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And I do love it when people get hoist with their own petard. Karma sucks. And none more so than when a hate-filled individual who incites a crowd to commit acts of physical attacks on other people simply because he doesn't like their politics then has to suffer the consequences of his actions. This particular person, of course, was a mentally ill man who likes to pretend he's a woman. And he suggested that people who are TERFs, should be punched in the face simply for being TERFs, i.e. women. This is a man who is encouraging women to be beaten. He's encouraging beating of women simply because they want to protect themselves and their identity. And that is a very dangerous thing to do generally. Incitement to this kind of thing is the sort of thing that will come around and cause police to visit you. It's an incredibly stupid thing to do, of course, when you are someone who took the life of someone and has just spent 30 years in prison and has been let out on licence. And then you do this. Well, guess what? Straight back into prison. But I want to know, and I think it'd be interesting to know, that since he is a male who pretends to be a woman, is a pretendy Wendy, but he's talking about committing this sort of thing against women. And the government has specified that this sort of crime means that you go to a male prison. So I'm hoping beyond hope that this man, in his little dress and in his little, high heels and things, gets turfed into, see what I did there, turfed into a male prison. Let's have a look at this story. Now, of course, I didn't come up with that. It's obviously the headline and I stole it. Turfed back into jail. Trans activist who was cleared of encouraging, the V word. I can't say it. They don't like it this early. After telling a crowd to punch TERFs in the face, has been recalled to prison for breaching the licence after earlier 30 years sentence. And he won't get parole hearing for months. Sarah Jane Baker, not his real name, was cleared of intentionally encouraging an offence, even though he obviously did do that. But he broke the rules and off he goes back to jail. But as I say, hopefully a male jail, because he is a man. He is a hate-filled man. A trans activist who served 30 years in jail for kidnap and attempted M has been recalled to prison for breaching his licence conditions following a rally in which he told the crowd to punch a TERF. Sarah Jane Baker of Richmond upon Thames, South West London, the mentally ill man, will now be held at a men's prison. Excellent. HMP Wandsworth until a parole hearing, which may not take place until March. I do hope he has lots and lots of sex in his cell. It comes as he was yesterday cleared of encouraging assault while at the London Trans Plus Pride March from Trafalgar Square to Wellington Arch in London on July the 8th. I don't know how he cleared. He undoubtedly said it. A recording played of the march shows the activist shouting into microphones, "I was going to come here and I was really fluffy and be really nice and say be really lovely and queer and gay." He says, "Nah, if you see a TERF, punch him in the effing face." Trans campaigners use the acronym TERF as a derogatory term. And if it is a derogatory term, then let's have that under hate speech. And anyone who calls you that is guilty of hate speech. For people who do not align with their own views. And by not aligning with their views means treating women as women and not as merely an object to which any man can aspire to be. It is a derogatory term, and it needs to be seen as such. And if they talk about homophobia, well, let's have some heterophobia. Let's start introducing heterophobia as a thing and start calling these people bigots. And there he is, chief bigot with his cock and his funny little hat. It's funny, why is it these strange mentally ill men like the berets, don't they? I'm thinking of Eddie Izzard. He likes a beret. He likes to be called something else, but he's a beret. I call him other things, but he wouldn't want to hear any of them. Baker was first jailed in 1989, aged 19, for kidnapping and torturing his stepmother's 19-year-old brother. He was later given a life sentence for the attempted M of a fellow inmate while in prison, of which he served 30 years before his release in 2019, making him the UK's longest-serving trans prisoner, and a record that's increasing. After appearing at the Central London rally last month, Baker was reported to the police and arrested at his home and taken to Charing Cross Police Station on July the 12th. Good. And let's hope he goes back to jail. Let's hope he doesn't get his parole and that he stays in there for another 10 years or whatever. After appearing at the Central London rally last month, Baker was reported to police... done that bit. The defendant denied intentionally encouraging the commission of offence, even though it was quite clear that he said that, and it was intentional. Namely, assault by beating. Baker accepted he had said the words, but he denied intent. Well, you're the one who chose those words, and those words are chosen with intent. He appeared at City of London Magistrates Court for trial on Thursday wearing a green top and a red beret. More like a raspberry beret, because he is a bit of a prince, isn't he? He told the court he believed his job at the protest was to get on the front page of the papers. You've certainly done that, haven't you, mate? He added, I believe my job was to get on the front page of the paper. He says, my job is to get the public to know that trans people exist. Well, we know that. We know that all the time. What are you trying to do? We know you exist. We see you weirdos all the time. We often see a lot of you in prison, usually for sexual offences, it must be said. Baker insisted he was exercising his freedom of expression when he gave the speech on behalf of the Trans Prisoners Alliance. Well, now it's the ranks of whose ranks he's now rejoined. Prisoner Kabir Sondi told the court his speech on behalf of the group had been made at a crowd at Wellington Arch. The words were clearly capable of encouraging members of the assembled crowd to go out and commit offences of battery against women. Mr. Baker referred to them as TERFs, punching them or otherwise assaulting them. He doesn't like women. He absolutely hates women. It's really strange, isn't it? He dresses as a woman, pretends to be a woman, absolutely hates women, and hates what women are and hates what women stand for. It's a man with a lot of self-loathing who needs a lot of psychiatric help. And if that's not capable, maybe just, the old bottle of whiskey and a revolver. The prosecution say that not only is Mr. Baker's intention gleamed by his particular use of the words in his speech, but also by his admissions and comments during his arrest later. The issue of the case seems to be solely of intent. Well, he undoubtedly intended to mean it. That's why the words came out of his hate-filled gob. And he says, I've never in my life used any kind of physical attack against trans-exclusionary radical feminists. But other people is fine. You are a man who uses physicality. He says, I admit I am provocative and can be obnoxious. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He says, I wish I could take those words back. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're proud of them and you're a prick. Just like what's between your legs. I hope, I'm not going to go on with it, it's all crap. He's just after attention. Now I hope that this strange, weird man does get the mental health that he so desperately needs. And now that he's going to be in Wandsworth, going back in with the big boys, let's hope he gets a lot of attention. Rough. Likes it rough, I'm sure he'll like it rough. Anyway, so leave it there, come up. Now, of course, in that piece, he described himself as being gay. Now, in his mind, that means lesbian because he's a lady. But actually, when you are a man who likes to have sex with women, you're not gay, you're straight. So he's a woman-hating straight man who wants to inflict, damage, physical pain on women. I think jail is probably the best place for him. And let's hope it's a long, long time. Anyway, I shall finish there and we'll not give this piece of shit any further acknowledgement and move on. So if you like the video, do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well and avoid people like this because they're always trouble and they are mentally knackered in their head, aren't they? Bye.